to 5 Minutes With. Today's guest is Cloverdale Catholic School teacher, Nikki Lamb. Hey everyone, welcome to 5 Minutes With. I'm so pleased to welcome Cloverdale Catholic School grade 1-2, soon to be grade 5-6 teacher,
Yes.
Nikki Lamb. Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you, Mr. Borkowski. It's so nice to be chatting with you here.
Thanks. I said grade 1-2 going to grade 5-6. That might be a surprise for some people who haven't been paying attention. So you're making the jump from primary to intermediate. How do you feel about that?
I feel very excited and very nervous, as you might imagine. It's a jump for me because I've only ever substituted intermediate grades, but I'm very excited about this. Mostly to be able to have, these very compelling conversations with kids. But of course, grade 1-2 is really fun conversations too. Just in
Yeah, it's different. But
yeah.
I did want to talk to you about something that was immediately when I saw your resume that sparked my imagination, my excitement about having you at the school, and that was your work at CCO. So can you tell people who don't know, what is CCO and what was your role there?
CCO is Catholic Christian Outreach. It's a university student movement that focuses on building up leaders for the evangelization of the world. So it's a pretty lofty vision, and it seems that way when you first meet them, but it's an incredible ministry that really reaches out to young people like myself and other university-age students who are at that point of searching, right? We're in that stage where you're starting to come into your own, and maybe you were raised Catholic, but you've never had the opportunity to choose Jesus and to come into a relationship with him on your own. So CCO really is all about that. So I was a part of it. I first was a recipient of their evangelization, receiving Jesus in a very personal way myself. And then I played other roles like singing in their music ministry for adoration and serving in one of the main teams, like their core team for evangelization on university. So like the main club members and everything. But it was an amazing experience and so grateful for them.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful too, because it's really, I think it's been an important part of shaping you into being the kind of teacher that I'm proud to have at Cloverdale Catholic. Can you talk to us a little bit about what Jesus's role is in your life? Like, how has he transformed you, especially since that evangelization experience you had?
I came slightly prepared.
Okay.
Because I wanted to talk about the scripture passage that I've been meditating on. And it kind of describes my relationship with Jesus pretty well, I thought.
Okay,
So
great.
Sorry to get all Bible-y on you.
No, I love it.
It's from John chapter 20 when Mary Magdalene was outside of the tomb, an empty tomb. And she finds it empty, and she's just crying and forlorn. And as she's crying, Jesus appears, and Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" And just that question really struck out to me, because Jesus comes up to her and doesn't ask or doesn't tell her, "Hey, you're wrong. What are you, why are you, what's this big deal for?" Or she doesn't say, "What have you been doing all this time?" Or he doesn't say, he doesn't comment on anything other than the fact that he wants to know what's going on in her heart and wants to be present to her and wants that closeness, that intimacy. And that for me is who Jesus is that person who just comes close and wants to know you and wants that connection with you. And I've been learning about that my whole life, more intensely now that I've been able to choose that relationship. And I'm continuing to discover who he is, right? So And yeah, I guess that's what I can say about him for now.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome. And as promised, I have to I have to ask you what what Jesus is doing in your life right now.
Well, I guess I'll go back a little bit. You had CCO, which I think in my life I didn't have that. When I went to college, I just went to school, and I've been a practicing Catholic my whole life, Catholic family, Catholic school, um, but I didn't have that truly evangelizing moment until I came to Cloverdale Catholic School.
Mm.
And the staff of the school over the years has really been such a strong witness to Jesus for me, and helped me to transform my relationship from a rules-based relationship to more of a loving, trusting relationship.
Mm.
And so for me right now, it would be really easy, especially in a position of leadership, to be worrying a lot about details and about safety and about all that stuff. And that stuff is super important to me. But because I know that God's in control and that Jesus has this, I do generally, I mean, I have my moments, but I generally feel like a sense of peace, even in these hectic times, because I know that Jesus has called me to this, and he's there for me. And in the end, this is all on him. So I trust him to deal with that stuff. And you relate to Mary at the tomb, and I relate to Peter, because numerous times Jesus calls on Peter to do things that he is completely unqualified to do, and Peter screws them up, and Jesus just keeps on trusting him. And so that for me is a role model for me. Like, really, I have no business being a leader. I have no business. I don't know why I was chosen, but I was. And if I trust God, everything always seems to turn out.
That's so true. Oh my gosh, I love Peter.
Yeah.
I love that he came last in the race to the tomb. It says
Yeah.
it twice in the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah. But he charged through, right? He didn't stop at the door. That's cool. Well, we're way over 5 minutes.
Oh,
Hard to believe, but that was awesome. I'm so glad to have you on today. Thank you, Nikki.
thank you so much, Jason. Have a great day.
Come on.